Oh, cool. Okay, I'm already live. Uh, Good morning. And oh, cool. Okay, now I can see myself. Um, so this morning, um, get some music going. Um, and get my screens all sorted. What? I have some weird sound stuff happening. Oh, that that would be why my headphones weren't even on. We don't have any weird music things. Um, Now we have some weird music things. Okay, so there's a couple of things that you're looking at on your screen. One of them is this Visual Studio Code page here, and the other is this terminal screen. And so, what I'm going to be doing, the whole purpose of everything that's happening on this particular stream and the streams that I'll be doing on Thursday for the foreseeable future, is I am going to be taking my old college notes and basically taking, whether they're previously typed or handwritten or what. I have a whole bunch of different media in my college notes. I want to take those and code them in LaTeX using Python, in particular this library called PyLatex. Um, and the reason why I want to do that is because a lot of reporting that's done after machine learning has completed is, you know, done in PyLatex because it gives you really nice, clean PDFs. And it includes, the ability to make chapters and headers and do all of those normal, Word document processes that we're used to, with the inclusion of all types of mathematic and scientific denotation. So something that always bothered me when I was writing my notes in college was that I could never include an integral. I could never include, a proper log. I could never include uh, sometimes something as simple as, Greek letters like rho for density in chemistry. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is taking all of my old notes and pushing them forward into this more digital context. And part of why I want to do that, again, is to practice that scientific reporting element that'll be happening at the end of my machine learning. This is kind of one of those ways that you can take something that's super code heavy and translate it for somebody who's not necessarily as code oriented. And, generating reports is really important whenever you have any type of modeling happening at the end, but also, especially if you're in real time, can we get those reports auto generated? Can we pull in new numbers and make new graphs? And that's what PyLatex is going to allow us to do. So here you can see that I am connected to Git Bash on my local system. I'm using Windows 64. That's what that MINGW64 means. I'm in my home directory. I'm on my desktop in a folder called Data Scientist, and inside that there's a folder called Projects, and this is a project called College Notes in LaTeX. So something that, let me see, and I use Conda. I thought I used ENV. I guess whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm in this environment called Learn Environment. That's an homage to where I learned to code in data science. I went to Flatiron School, and this is the environment that I got set up there. So basically, anytime I am testing or need kind of just like a general Python type library, this is the basically my black box testing uh, environment that I use. And I wanted to see if I had LaTex already installed. So I'm in this Learn environment. I'm going to go to my Conda list. And this is the list of all of the libraries that are installed on here. And I'm looking for LaTex. And it looks like it would be on this fourth line just ahead of PyMongo if I had it, but I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and install it. In the background, I have the docs pulled up. Pip install LaTex. And so I'm getting that now, building some wheels. I really hope that this works. Oh, okay, so my pip is out of date. I'm just going to continue using pip version 20.2.4 for now. And now back in this Visual Studio Code, I have a README. I just made this repository before starting this stream. Let's see if there's some music. Okay. So I just started this repo before the stream, and the only thing that I did was I typed this in my description. I set it up under an MIT license. While the notes that I do have written are from taking classes, it's not necessarily from a singular class. It's not necessarily directly from a textbook. It is not necessarily directly from a lecture. And I should note also that all of the professors that I studied under, that I will be doing notes for in this particular exploration, were okay with voice recording and showing our notes, not necessarily the problem sets, but our notes with other individuals. So I'm tossing that out there. Speaking of my old college professors, they were fantastic. I love them very much. Without them, I would not be here where I'm sitting today. Also, I should note, I graduated with 2 degrees, one in chemistry and one in biology. And for this first section I also tossed in a general Python.ignore. And it does include all of the Jupyter Notebook checkpoints, which is important for machine learning stuff. And it includes the general, just a lot of good stuff. If I were to use the Django or Flask to try to bring all of this online, it would include all of those file types as well. So the first set of notes, and right now this is in Markdown, and that's kind of the reason why I'm coding in Visual Studio Code, is because I can get a Markdown preview. I could use a Jupyter Notebook, but I'm not really running any code with what I'm doing. I will be using some code cells, but, you know, I figured that, diversity is good. And while you can run code cells in Visual Studio Code and you can full-on code, and it's an IDE, so you can code in it as well. I will be using the Markdown preview function, which I really like. because you know, it shows you your markdown updates in real time. So I'll be using this library called LaTex, which is a Python library, which means all of my code cells that have, or all of my LaTex stuff is going to have to go into a code cell, which I can then view with all of the other associated text at the same time. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to be doing everything in LaTex or if I'm going to do this combination of Markdown and LaTex, depending on what I want for my text. You can do all of your text in LaTex, but I'm pretty sure the only font available is Times New Roman. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so I'm just going to get started. And you know what? I'm actually going to hide all of my computer info, since we're not really coding, and make this box a little bit bigger. And I am sorry that my stream right now says low latency. Okay. Okay, that should be decently big enough to read. So the first set of notes, quantitative methods, So this is just the first set of chemistry notes that I found on my shelf, basically. And I have one other, which is inorganic. I should note that this is from my college courses. And also, this is, upper level chemistry. Well, I am happy to, because the stream is labeled, ask me anything. I'm happy to answer any chemistry questions. What I'll be coding and what I'll be writing down may or may not be familiar to you if you've never heard of quantitative methods before. Basically, quantitative methods talks about, how do we record data? How do we set up experiments to where we can get usable and meaningful and statistically significant data? The lab for quantitative methods is enormously finicky. It's where you have to autoclave everything 3 times to make sure there's 0 moisture, and you have to measure to the hundreds of thousands of grams, and you have to record everything. So there's going to be a lot of numbers in this, and I want to make sure that they are extremely precise. So this is what I will be pulling my notes from, is the same yellow folder that I used in college. Yellow is chemistry, fight me. And I took this in spring of 2014, and I guess I could put that in here too. From spring 2014. And for this particular class, I took notes in a variety of methods, as I mentioned. And I started out doing a lot of typing. So a lot of this is just going to be in general type stuff. So, yeah, we started where everyone expects to start in quantitative methods, which was discussing this concept of charge or electrical charge, and, how charged are atoms, how charged are electrons. So we started with this idea of charge. I'm going to go ahead, and I typically like to do level 3 headers. And so far, it looks like on this particular day, we have quite a bit of notes. Okay. So we have charge, then we have this idea of, I'm basically just going to put in all of my headers from my typed notes so that y'all can get an idea about what we're talking about. And then I'll go in and fill in each section. And the reason why all of these things are important, I'm sorry, I'm just making sure. Instrument methods, charge and electrical current. And then we talked about alternating current, operational amplifiers, digital electronics. You know what? This is not quantitative methods. It is from spring 2014, but this is actually instrumental analysis. That's what I thought. I think I have my quantitative method notes in the back pocket here. Or they're just in my folder that I use for quantitative methods, and I just left them in there. But I took that in the fall. So let me... stream settings. It looks like I'll have to add this to a... oh, okay, cool. It's in the right place. So I was like, this was not the first day of quantitative methods. Sorry, that was a brain thing happening. Resistance, then resistivity, resistivity. You know what? So one great thing about VS Code, spell check. Let's see here. Code spell checker. Okay, I don't necessarily want a code spell checker. Okay, so I'm gonna need to install this. Might as well install the cold spell check. Let me look for an English spell check. Here we go. Install. Okay, so basically what I did is I just went to Visual Studio Code's extensions library and looked for some things that I thought might be helpful. Can I not? What is this? Okay, I'm not gonna do that then. Okay. Anyway, so that I don't end up misspelling a common English word like resistivity, because my brain isn't what it used to be. This is, you know, the reason why we started talking about all of this idea with, you know, electricity at the very beginning of our instrumental analysis class is because instrumental analysis is all about equipment. It's basically what tools do you have in your arsenal, and so all of the instrumentation in chemistry runs off of electricity, and so we really needed a way to Oh, why am I doing this in the README? So instrumental analysis is coming from spring 2014. I need to make a new file. We're gonna call this instrumental analysis. And this is where we're gonna be doing our notes. Okay. I'm gonna copy that, paste that here. We want to instrumental analysis. That is one of the things that we are making notes about. And I want to go ahead and save that. Okay, this is where I want to be doing my notes, is actually in this instrumental analysis. Right now we don't have a file type for this, so it's just a random file. I want this to be a markdown. Cool. It's because yeah, all instruments run off of electricity, and that's, if you're going through troubleshooting to figure out what's wrong with something, the best first place to look is it plugged in? The second best place to look is, especially whenever you start setting instruments up in tandem or in series, where you're doing a GC first, then you're doing a mass spec, or you're doing a mass spec to a mass spec to get more refined results, or if you're doing any sort of laser work, you want to make sure that you're building what you're plugging all of the stuff into can handle the voltage and amperage pull that your machine will, do on the system. If it doesn't, that's a problem, and then you short everything out, and you essentially ruin that instrument. You have to replace parts and call in a technician to come in and fix it, and you end up having to rebalance your NMR, and that's a process that takes 2 weeks. And so basically you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're working within the constraints. And, in a lab, one of the things that you cannot control is power. That is often predetermined by building, unless you have the fortune of building out your own lab. But even then, as your lab grows and change and you get more access to funding and more grants and acquire more equipment, you need to make sure that you can understand, setting up all of your instruments in a way that will not damage them or anything. And so this is why we're talking about electricity and a chemistry class versus a physics class. Sorry if you were a chemist and thought you were done with physics. Sorry. At least to me, at least it's the fun part of physics. Why are you telling me I misspelled this? So, that's not cool. Spelling. No suggestion. Okay, cool. What's this? Quick fix. Oh, Kirchhoff is a... This is a bop. They're just telling me my grammar is wrong. They don't realize that it's the name of a person. Power. So those of you who have taken any kind of physics, that a lot of this information in this first set of notes will be familiar to you. So, okay. Here's something too. Instrumental analysis from spring 2014, and then I have all of these subheadings, but this is under, one day. So this is like day one, and these are the notes that I pulled. So I'm trying to think what to call. Okay, this is called, this is direct current. So these are my notes about direct current. And then the next day, I think we went over indirect current. But I have like 8 pages of notes here. Not indirect current, alternating current. Wow. Good job. Okay, so under direct current, charge can be positive, charge can be negative. Okay, use positive, thank you. Yay, spell check. And charge is, can be positive or negative. It is measured in coulombs. I cannot believe coulombs is not in their dictionary. And we know that 1, and this actually should honestly be a code block. Hold on. Tab. Shift tab. Oh, word. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to work out. So this starts a code block. Okay, now it's a code block. And I need to do a symbol for electron. Let me go into some stuff. Okay, cool. Okay. We're gonna need some stuff up here at the top. That's great. Instrumental analysis. We need to do some imports. We need to import. We're definitely gonna end up using NumPy as NP. Oh, this needs to be in a code block. Home 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Cool. Import NumPy as NP. Then we have. We want to do from LaTex. We want to import. I am pulling this from the docs that I have up in the background. Document, section, subsection, tabular, math. I don't know what this one is, but that's fun. Axis, plot, figure, matrix, and align. And then they have separately from LaTex .utils or utilities. We're going to import italic. I'm assuming that they have bold as well. We'll find out. And then we want to also, I'm not so sure that we'll use this one, but it doesn't hurt for the moment. Well, you know what, we can wait and do that later. Okay, and now what we can do to make sure that this happens, I believe, not synchronize, there used to be an easy way to do run. Weird. Let me see. I don't think I can just type run. Yeah. Maybe we don't want this to be marked down. Maybe we want this to be .py. I think we probably want this to be .py. Do I have? I don't. Let me see if I can. Line. To denote 200 and what is it? 34 characters. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Multi-line tricks. Oh, that's cool, but no. Maximum code line length. No, no, no. I do want prettier. Get rid of that for now. Okay. Let's do. There we go. And then we run into some problems here. Yeah. and some imports, that's fine. LaTex. This one needed to be added. That's kind of funny. Okay. Let's go back here. We have an error here. The sentence does not start with what sentence? Code. Oh, here. There we go. Let's get that saved. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. Now we're gonna start doing some stuff. I want this to be one document called instrumental analysis. That's going to be like the title for the whole thing. And then this first section is going to be with doc.create. I want this to be a section. And this is going to be our text in that section. Wow. So good at coding. Yeah. Okay. Doc.append. Can this please be, will it yell at me to make it align? No, it won't. We want to actually make a doc.create. Oh, buddy. With doc.create, we want a subsection. And we want it to be called charge. Here we go. Now some things are happening. And then we want doc.append. Some text here, which we are going to say can be positive or negative. On doc.append, we're going to start with a line break. It's measured in coulombs. And then doc.append. This is where I wanted to start pulling in some, because right now in my notes I have one E minus, but that's not the symbol for electrons. It's the negative is supposed to be slightly higher. It's almost like a superscript. So I'm going to see if I can get symbol for electron in high latex. How do I change the page orientation and font size? That is a great example. How about we do must include electron? Okay, that's not going to be helpful. Let's do, how about we do science notation latex. Using it, the only thing that's popping up is scientific notation, and that's not what I want. Science symbols latex. Comprehensive latex symbol list. That is going to be awesome. It's a duck that's 422 pages long. Let's see if there is. They have an electron. It's slash electron. So 1 slash electron. Output terminal. Let me do file and VS Code, edit and run code, file explorer to view, that's cool. Okay, cool. I have this saved, so I should be able to It's not exactly what I want. Okay, yeah, this is what I thought. I thought it was super easy. Okay, that's weird. Let's restart. This is what's kind of confusing to me. It's saying that there's no NumPy. Is that because I don't have an environment in my... I think it's because I don't have an environment in my directory. Okay. That's going to get very difficult. pretty quickly. So I'm gonna do something right quick. And I have, get up my seams. I have opened this Jupyter notebook, which isn't exactly what I want. Okay. I should be able to close this because I don't think shut down seconds ago. Save. I think I can shut that down. No terminals running. Refresh. And here I'm in my projects folder, and you can see that I don't have a folder. So I'm going to shut down the kernels, and which means this just goes away. Okay, cool. Oh, if I minimize that, y'all can still see it. Okay. So let's do Jupyter notebook. Okay. And we should be able to college notes. We have this instrumental analysis.py. I want to do a new learn environment. Let me pull this up again. Let's see here. Okay, so that runs. Let's see if that runs. Stock is not defined. Okay, cool. Doc is still not defined. However, we were able to import NumPy, which is pretty great. Let me pull back up an example. So basically what we're running into in VS Code, while it is great, I'm going to have to do some stuff. Basically, I don't have anything. Let me explain. Here in this file explorer, I have some .vs Code stuff, which is pretty cool. That basically just has all of my own added words, which I think I'm going to use a lot more. So I don't have any environment in here. So there's no Python basically installed in my VS Code right now. So I can make a Python file, but I can't run it. And so what I think I want to do, and this is something I'll probably, well, we have like another 30 minutes or so here. I suppose I should just, oh, y'all can't even see what I'm looking at. Wow. So good at not that one, text editor. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. In our Explorer here, we can see everything, all the files that are in our current directory that we're working in. And you can see that we just added this untitled Jupyter notebook here. And I'll delete this out. I just wanted to run to see if there was an issue with stuff. I was basically doing some troubleshooting to figure out why I couldn't run it here. So basically what has happened is here we just have this Jupyter notebook. We have the README, which we've already looked at. We have our license. We have our Py file that we're going to try to run. And we have some ignore files, right? But none of that is an environment. So we don't have Python actually accessible to our code base here. That's what I wanted to check with the Jupyter Notebook. So I'm actually going to get rid of, I'm going to shut that down and I'm going to delete it. And since we have time, I'm curious to see if this /electron will work. That's what I'm getting at right now. I want to see if we can get a environment in here, which means I'm going to be working some in a terminal. Let me pull up my terminal. Okay, great. So right now, conda list. So we have all of these wonderful things accessible in our directory, but that's in Git. That's not through VS Code. So basically, we're going to start a completely new learning environment, or not learning environment, a whole new conda environment. So we're going to do conda deactivate. Conda deactivate, or that's not. Conda deactivate. Now we're in our base environment, which is where we want to be. I'm gonna do conda. I always have to look up how to do this. Conda new environment. And then there's this really cool little cheat sheet. Conda create. That's right. Okay. And then I want to pull up. So I have a particular install pattern that I do for data science libraries. I am probably not going to do all of them, but I am going to do some of them. Okay, so where's my terminal? Okay, here we go. Conda create, and I want the name of this environment to match the name of my project that I'm working on. Oh, okay. Conda create. So this error message is basically telling me I didn't put that I was going to name it. So I wasn't able to create it yet. College notes and LaTex. And I want to be working in Python 3.9, I believe. And I think I can put that in where I put Python is equal to Python 3.9. Or is it 3.11 is the latest Python version is 3.11. Yeah, that's what I want to be in, is 3.11. Python equals to 3.11. Let's see. So it's working. Cool. Let's see. I got my new packages. I got some old packages. or following packages will be downloaded and those will all be installed. Cool. Proceed. Yes, please. Activate college notes in LaTex. Cool. Now I want to start doing install pandas. Okay, so because Conda does not have a latest, they don't have a support. This is not what I wanted from you. Conda install pandas. There we go. That's what I wanted. Officially Python supports 3.11. That's cool. I think I'm just gonna, I don't want to pip install it, but that's what I was looking for. Pandas. Okay, it has to go through it can't go through mini Conda. That's what I wanted to figure out, which means I have to Conda install channel anaconda. Wow, pandas. Like, pandas is a big library. It should install with Python 3.11. A lot of people have been updating to Python 3.11 lately, and it's still gonna say it. It's still gonna have the same error. Saying it needs to be less than 3.11. About Conda update. Python. So we installed 3.11, but now we're going to be... No. 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 Kinda install Python 3.11.2. 3.11.2. How about we just do kinda install Python? That should upgrade it. Update base defaults conda. Is that what's happening? Is it because my conda's not updated? So welcome to the troubleshooting life of starting a new environment. It is literally the worst, but once you have it done, it's done for the entirety of the project, so might as well. Jeez Louise. That's a lot of libraries. I'm gonna hit no, and then I'm gonna conda activate base, and then I'm gonna do conda update defaults conda, I believe is what I typed in. Update in base defaults conda. In base defaults conda. And base. I think that means my base environment, but you know, I'm just gonna play it safe. Because I don't want my shiny new environment to be, you know, not great. I am very happy to have, I'm actually going to turn these back on. The whole reason why I had these up in the first place was for stuff like this. My computer's doing a lot of stuff in the background, even though I'm just sitting here. And you can see that a lot of my cores are hot. So the cores 0 through 6, those are on my onboard GPU. And they're doing okay. And then, yeah, I have 2 different disk drives. Okay, cool. I'm trying to remember if pandas is the library that figure comes from. Because I know that I'm going to have to be, I'm going to have to code some graphs for this whole latex thing that I'm doing, and I'm trying to remember if I'll do that using pandas or not. Because my list of libraries that I'm looking to download is pandas, NumPy, SciPy. I think I'm gonna do scikit-learn. I'm definitely gonna do matplotlib and Seaborn. I'm gonna do Jupyter just in case. And then I'll probably do Flask. I've done some backend stuff in Flask and Django. I find Flask a little bit easier to use. Okay, cool. Now let's go back into our college notes in LaTeX. And let's try conda install. It's gonna be pandas from the channel Anaconda. Okay. Basically, it's saying that it can't find a good pandas installation that will work with my current stuff. Okay. If Python is on the left side, that's the version you asked for Python 3.11. Greater than or equal to 3.10, then I need a 2.8. Okay, so let me see what's going on with pip. What version is from pip? It's 1.53. Latest version. That's kind of annoying. Okay, let's do conda uninstall Python. Let's do that. And then let's just start. Yes, remove all of them. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's just install pandas. Conda install pandas. Oh, let's check to make sure there's nothing in there first. Conda. And then all of that needs to be in there, unfortunately. Conda install pandas. And let's see if Python comes with it. Python does come with it, and it's 3.10. Okay, so that's what's going on with Pandas 1.5.2. So they don't support Python 3.11 yet. So we're gonna do 3.10.9, and then that's a little bit frustrating. I thought they were already up to 3.11. That is my bad. Next, let's do conda install numpy. It's probably going to say it's already installed. Can we do conda update numpy? Okay, so it's already completely up to date. Conda install scipy. Let's see. Downloaded. Yes. And I guess I should mention, just for completeness, I am on a Windows machine. I do have a Mac, and I will be making sure that this environment that we create can go back and forth between Mac and PC, because that's just my own workflow. So I'm working from home right now, which means I'm on my really nice PC, but I do work out at coffee shops and stuff, so that's when I take my Mac. The last thing, I don't think I'm going to do scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is a really, really big library. And what you can do with it is, classification, regression, clustering, dimensionality reduction, model selection, it's like the workhorse of machine learning. And for this particular project, I don't think that we're going to be doing a whole lot of machine learning, because I'm just copying my old notes. So instead, I might want stat models. So oftentimes stat models and scikit-learn are used kind of, I don't want to say interchangeably, but there is stuff that stat models can do that scikit-learn cannot, and it does it a little bit better, and that has to do with, how, or like to what degree a certain statistical test is run. Like stat models does a little bit better with ANOVAs, I believe, than scikit-learn does. Okay, so I don't think I need to do stat models. Just from the docs, the introduction is, provides classes and functions for different statistical models, as well as conducting statistical testing and statistical data exploration. Again, I'm just copying my old college notes, so I don't think that I'll need that. I will absolutely need, let me look at what jablib is. It's for pipelining. I definitely don't need that. That's 100% a machine learning thing. I will absolutely need matplotlib. This is kind of like the basic graphing in Python is matplotlib. And then I'll also want to install Seaborn, which is kind of like the little bit better graphing. Oh, I'm getting pillow too. That's cool. Pillowing is cool. What pillow does is it kind of, it takes like a, how if you're working in Word and your computer crashes and then you come back later and it has like your recovered document. That's what pillow does. You can set up save points and stuff and create and they're really, really lightweight. I guess you could even call them like kind of like images of what you've done so far. And it's not necessarily that I need pillow, it's that Matplotlib needs pillow apparently. Um, and then I'm gonna do conda install Seaborn. And then I think I want Jupyter. And I don't think I need anything else really. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to do Flask. Okay. Conda install Jupyter. Oh, pillowing is for figures. What I was thinking about was pickling. You just pickle it for later because that's how you preserve things. Which I'm getting with Jupyter. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know why they're trying to get me into a Pi Windows 32-bit, but Jupyter needs what it needs. And then the last I wanted to do was Flask. Yeah, eventually my end goal is to, toss these up on a website with a downloadable PDF. It's kind of like I guess a cheat sheet. Or like a Spark Notes for the particular classes I took. Now, keep in mind that your professors at your respective universities might teach these classes very differently. Also, my classes are 10 years out of date at this point, and I have not updated what the contents. So, with heavy grains of salt, conda install Flask. And then I want to also install LaTex. Yes. Conda install LaTex. Do you not have a conda installation LaTex library? You don't. It's only through pip. Okay. Do I have pip installed? Conda list. I do have pip. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna do pip install LaTex. Wow. That's a lot. Okay, now I can do conda list. I'm not seeing LaTex. Can I do that? I can. There it is, PyLatex. Okay, cool. And I have 1.14. Okay. Then I want to do these other dependencies as well that are part of the PyLatex library. Install PyLatex matrices, because I definitely have some in my notes somewhere. Already satisfied, cool. Pip install PyLatex matplotlib. Already satisfied, that's fantastic. Pip install PyLatex, and then I want to do quantities. Okay, so that's the only one that I didn't necessarily have already. And it's been installed now, which is fantastic. And I want to take my current environment and export as take current environment and export to build environment later. Managing environments. Okay. That's what I want. Creating an environment. Well, I want to make a YML file. There we go, sharing an environment. That's better. Okay, then I want to take this now fully functioning environment that has all of the things that I want inside of it. I'm gonna do conda environment export to college notes and latex.yml. This handles both pip packages and conda packages. That's fantastic. That's exactly what I want. And now if I look at my file contents, you can see that I have college notes and latex YML. So now you can see it here. This is what the file looks like. I only use the default Anaconda. God, with the things with words. Cool. And you can see a lot of these are like in between stuff. So I have all of these ready to go. And then I have pip, you know what? Control PyLatex. That's not in there either. So I'm actually going to add that. PyLatex. And this should be equal to, what was it, 1.4.1? There's another way to do this too, and I might end up doing that. And it's by doing pip freeze. Pip freeze to environment.yml. Yeah, okay, so what's happening is that it's a pip wheel, which doesn't work great. Like this, pip dependencies, and for wheels, okay, so let me see here. LaTex. Latest stable release. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Cool. Docs. It's 1.3.2. What about latest Git version? 1.3.3. Okay. LaTex. I don't need this. Hit freeze. This gives your requirements. So that's something that you want to include as well. Okay. Okay, using okay. So let's do pip install. The only thing that we did was pip install LaTex, and we want to do equals or to 1.3.2. Let me see here. Let's see what's going on here. Let's do pip list. And look at our LaTex version here. It says that it's 1.4.1. That's interesting. Let's do that. So it must install that one. Okay, cool. Now we should be able to do pip freeze. Give me Windows. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so we want to, in our command line here, or rather in our git bash terminal, we want to do python pip freeze, and we want to send that out to our requirements.txt. And now we should be able to see that requirements.txt as well. Okay, so let's get that saved, get our YML, and we have our requirements. And now in the same terminal, this is already a repository. So I'm gonna hit git status, And then I'm gonna hit git add readme.md git status git commit. So I'm adding all of these separately. I'll add the YML and the TXT at the same time, just saying that we have our environment created. But with a README, we added section, add section. This is instrumental analysis. Okay, and then we want to, this VS Code, what's in here? Okay, so we need to add that to our git ignore. We're gonna add our VS Code bits here, dot VS Code. We're gonna save that, and we are going to commit that as well. Git status, git add dot git ignore git status, git commit message, add VS Code section, git status. Now let's do git add requirements, and then I want to add my YML as well. Git, I should probably call this environment. I just don't like doing that, you know, because everybody has something called environment already. I mean, it's standard, but it is what it is. Git status. What? Why didn't it add? Oh, because I didn't add it. Git add. This is why I always do git status before I make a commit, is to make sure that it tracked, because my brain short circuits. Let's add that YML. Let's get that git status. Now I have both files like I want. Git commit message, create environment for project. Cool. Git status. And now we are back in our .py. Now, I am very curious. We have here, could not be resolved, missing imports. Undefined variable. Okay. So we have our environment in here now with our YML and our requirements. Now I'm curious if we'll be able to run what's happening. Let me get rid of all of my bits. Okay, now let's see, F5. Okay, file, no module. That's kind of annoying. Okay, let's do this. Typing into Google, VS Code. Let's see here. Module, not found error. Module not found error. Okay, let's see. Let's go to our terminal. Let's go ahead and stop this. Let's go into Conda, activate our new shiny environment. Now let's try running it. Not cool. Okay, let's see. Let's go into how to activate virtual environment VS Code. I want to use a local environment. Interpreter. Stop. Oh, that's the button I was looking for right there. Run Python file. Run Python file. No module name numpy. That's not great. How do I do an interpreter? Explore? No. Search? No. Source control? No. Variables, run and debug. Python? No. Settings? Ah. I want to run a Python file. That's not helpful. No. Mount extensions, testing, get Jupyter, Docker. Cool. File. I am very much still learning VS Code, y'all. Why do you think I'm here? Let's do terminal. Split terminal. Nope, 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 nope. Okay. That's not what I wanted at all. I do not want terminal. I don't want it to be split. How do I unsplit it? Delete. There we go. Okay. Select interpreter. How do I do that? From the command palette. Control Shift P. Control palette. Dope. Python. Select interpreter. That one. Okay, so we have NumPy installed now. That's great. But it's saying that we don't have LaTex installed. And on our YML, let's do what is this? Yeah, I deleted a line. Sue me. There, now it's undeleted. Okay. So I think I want to rebuild my environment using this YML file. Okay. Conda, managing environments. That's what I want. Updating an environment. Let's do this instead. Let's update our environment. Conda environment update prefix dot slash env file college notes and latex dot yml, and let's prune. Okay. Let me see what's going on with the stream. Cool. Yes. Okay, so we're still waiting on this to update. We've got our pip going now. And remember, we added our PyLatex in there. Conda activate college notes and latex. Conda activate college notes and latex env. Is that a thing? Okay, cool. Let's do conda info. I want to make sure that we're in the right environment and that it didn't duplicate and rename or something somehow. It literally has no name. How did we make that? So something just happened. We have this environment thing now. That's cool. I don't know what's happening. Okay. And I think that's what you're supposed to do. So there's this really cool page on, I think that's what you're supposed to do. Is keep your environment stuff under environment, but your requirements.txt and your YMLs are supposed to be out of it. That's fun. Okay, so that's cool. I just added the environment to my thing, which I don't want to do. So I'm actually going to delete this because I don't want that crazy amount of data in my GitHub repository. But that's what'll happen. Uh, yeah, delete permanently. Thank you. Okay. So, but now we should be able to, why don't I have the run button anymore? I'm in my terminal. Why can't I run? I just have this. What changed? Where are my changes? I didn't make any changes. Oh, here we go. There's the run button. Good job. Okay, cool. Let me... What did I do? It was... VS Code set Python interpreter. Command palette. Command Shift P. Select interpreter. This one. It's saying that there's nothing called condo list. Nothing called LaTex. We just rebuilt this. And it's not here. If I do pip list, it is there. Do you think maybe I need to do... Yeah. No module name. Okay. Time for more troubleshooting. LaTex not recognized by Conda. I do not want to use Perl. I want Python to be my path. I do not. Let's see here. Is it because it's a Conda Forge? It's a Conda Forge. Okay. So we are going to update some things. Conda install from Conda Forge. Hi LaTex. Thank you. So, Anaconda distributions for Python are particularly stable, especially through the Anaconda channel. So Anaconda has a couple of different channels that you can download libraries from, and that's how you kind of get some temporary or like new releases or something. Yes, I want to supersede, please. Ooh, but I'm downgrading. Ooh, so for those of you that don't know, there have been a lot of security breaches and stuff, so that's why I don't like that I'm necessarily downgrading to something that's a little bit earlier, is because it doesn't necessarily have protections from those security breaches. However, Conda Forge, that particular channel, has more... I guess you could call it experimental type stuff, but usually what will happen is Conda Forge will allow a distribution earlier. So basically, once a new release happens, it gets put in Conda Forge if it's determined to be stable by the people at Anaconda. And then once it's determined, like all of the bugs are figured out, then they move it into the Anaconda channel, or the default channel. So I'm not surprised that LaTex is in the Conda Forge channel, because it's kind of like this weird niche library that not a whole lot of people use. I'm using it for scientific reporting. Not a lot of people do that. But what this does mean is, because I've changed the library, I'm going to go ahead and remake my YML and my requirements files. And I'm doing that in Git Bash. Let's look at Conda list. And I should see LaTex in here now. Yeah, LaTex, that's great. Which means I don't have to use pip as an installer for it, and that's probably why I wasn't seeing it before. Even though you can see in this list something else that was installed with pip, which is kind of annoying, but that is what it is. And then I think I can do Conda install channel Conda Forge LaTex. Remember that one library that we didn't have called quantities, I believe? Yeah, quantities. So I'm gonna just check to see if we have that available to us. And if it's not installed, then okay, cool. We already have quantities installed. So now we're gonna remake our YML file. Conda environment export. We want to call this college notes in latex.yml. And I'm just going to make sure we have college notes in YML. And here, if we look at it, we should see pi. Hold on. Don't save. Pi LaTex. There we go. Awesome. And we only needed pip there. I'm going to delete this prefix because other people don't need that. The only person that needs that is me. So I'm going to delete that, get rid of that, hit save. Because I can obviously still build an environment. And here we have ordered set, which is different. I'm pretty sure that came with the Pi LaTex install. And then we have Conda Forage added as one of our channels. And then here we have some updates as well. And we saw those being downgraded. And then I want to also pip freeze. Pip freeze to requirements.txt. And it looks exactly the same way. I want to pip freeze to my requirements.txt. And this should be updated too. Let's see. Let's make sure Pi LaTex is in here too. Pi LaTex. There we go. Okay, cool. And it looks like it didn't change all that much, but let's see what our git status has to say. It says that there was no changes, so we're going to git add our YML file, git status, make sure that it added. It did. So we're going to commit, and we're going to say update YML to include Pi LaTex. We're going to make sure that that went through, and it did. Okay, cool. Now we can finally, we should be able to run this now. No module name Pi LaTex. Let's retype that. Let's do Control-Z, 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 Control. That's a lot of undos. Okay. They're all green, so they should be recognized. Now we are in line 11 with .create. Doc is not defined. So let me pull back up. This. Okay. Doc is not defined. We want to do some options up here. And we are going to do geometry options equals the top margin we want to be, oh, that's in quotes. We want to be 2.54 centimeters, please. We want the bottom margin to also be 2.54 centimeters. We want the left margin to be 2.54 centimeters. So something that I'm noticing immediately, and we also want the right margin to be the same, is that this is set up in a dictionary format. Dictionaries are enclosed in brackets, the curly brackets, and they have this kind of setup where they have something on the left, colon, something on the right, and different entries are separated by commas. So that tells me a little bit something about the current program that I'm using. And I'm going to do a code break here. And I'm going to tab that over. So we have our top margin, our bottom margin, our left margin, and our right margin, all being 2.54 centimeters. That's our geometry options so far. And I want my doc to equal document where the geometry options are equal to the geometry options. Wow, look at that. And let's see if this will run now. Oh, we didn't, did we, I thought we saved. Run? Oh, we are running. Okay, cool. Then let's see what they did at the very end. That's not what I wanted. Okay, thanks. At the very end, they have, nope, thanks. They have doc.generate PDF full name text equals false. And let's see here. Okay, so this is telling us that we don't have this either LaTeX MK or PDF LaTeX installed. So I want to see about installing LaTeX PDF. Now I'm kind of curious too. LaTeX MK might be Markdown, in which case I'd want both. I'd want Markdown and PDF. Because PDF is for people to print, right? But Markdown is for, like, computers to look at. So I want both available. So I don't have a LaTeX compiler. That's fine. Which means I'm just going to kind of hatch that out for now. I'm kind of curious if we can, Okay, so I guess we won't be able to see if the /electron works or not, but there's no error so far, so let's just keep going. Equals, and now I need some scientific notation. I have 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19th coulombs. So this is how I wrote it in my notes originally. Let's see what PyLaTeX geez, I have like 30 million tabs open that all say PyLaTex. Let's see if we can do scientific notation. Don't need this, I don't need that, I don't need a lot of this stuff. Okay, PyLaTex scientific notation. do LaTeX scientific notation. Okay, so it looks like we're supposed to do slash number curly brackets, curly brackets, slash, oh, not slash number, let's do slash SI, which makes sense. That's international units. That's the abbreviation for, I guess, standard international units. And then we want our number. We want this to be e to the negative 19, which is what you would type in on your calculator. And then we have our second, we're going to close that because that's our number. And then we have our second notation there. Okay, and let's see if that, well, yeah, that runs, no errors, great. Cool. Equals. I'm very curious how that will look. And then we have, I have another note here, doc append, which is, all charges are multiples of the electron charge. So what that means is that if, you've heard with polyatomic ions and whatnot, that it might have a 2- charge. What that means is it has 2 times 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19th coulombs electrical charge. So something that is more negatively charged is going to have more stuff going on. And notice we're working at this to the negative 19th level. That's for one singular atom, right? Charge is cumulative and you end up creating a field, and that's how you get your positive negative interplay between the nucleus and the electron cloud and that type of stuff. And because, we're working in that negative 19, I have this next section. I wonder, coulombs. I think I'm going to do where, and I'm going to take this and put it up here. And then I want this to indent here. And I need to remember to put in a break. And I think I can do a tab, and I think that will indent there. Okay. Actually, that's information there. So I'm going to have a line break, and then I'm going to have a tab. And I'm going to say, however, charge is often considered a continuous value to make things a little bit more simpler. Okay, okay, okay. Because I have an apostrophe, I'm going to use a double quote. And see, now that apostrophe doesn't end the thing. And I'm going to break there. Okay. Dot append. Our next little fact here is that charge is conserved in a closed system. So closed system versus an open system means that nothing, no matter, no energy can escape. Is there any perfectly closed system in our universe? No. Can we simulate them? Yes, and oftentimes we do for simplicity's sake, or it's close enough that it doesn't matter. Depends on the type of experimentation that you're doing. Okay, we still have no errors. That's pretty great. So this is our first subsection. The next subsection is with doc. We're going to create our next subsection. This is not in quotes. Subsection. And next one is current. Current is the flow of negative, or flow of electrical charge. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It can be positive as well. That's our general definition. Where I is equal to, now I have to figure out how to do an integral. Actually, it's not an integral, it's a derivative. Derivative. No, it is an integral. Derivative. Partial. But just derivative. Y derivative. No. Nope. LaTex. Derivative. There we go. Yep. Okay, so they are fractions as considered. So we want fraction. Then we have dq. And these are curly braces. Du, not du, dq. Second value is dt. Okay. cool. And then, oh yeah, flow, this needs to be a break before that. Then here, doc, create our next line, which is going to have a break and a tab, where I is current, Q is charge, and T is time. This is how I like to set up my equations. I have, you know, we have current is the flow of electrical charge. Then I have my, so that's the definition of current. And then I have the mathematical definition of current, which is, you know, the derivative of charge and the derivative of time. Basically, that just means measuring their change. So how it changes over time and how it, or how charge changes and how time changes. And we're looking at both of those things simultaneously. So we're looking at two different lines and looking at the area between them. That's why it's a derivative. And then we have some conventions that go along with this particular type of equation. We're just doing a line break here because this is just more information about current in general. Direction is conventionally flow of positive charge. And I bet that this is going to tell me, what are you going to tell me? Positive. Thank you. All right. And then the measurement for current, create and the measured in amps, where, how did I do it up here? Measured in coulombs where 1 electron equals, okay, where A is equal to, let's get another fraction in there. We have our coulombs, and then our second value is seconds, and this is equal to, and we have another scientific notation here where we have SI, we have our first number, that should be blue if I'm not mistaken. This value here should be blue. I don't know what's going on with that. This one here is blue. Should I do electron? I think I should do 1. I think that's what happened there. And then here, I should be able to do slash open. I don't know. I might have to troubleshoot that a little bit because this requires a value afterwards, I think. So that's going to be interesting. 6.25. E to the negative, e to the 18 is positive. Electrons per second. Okay, e to the 18, and our unit is actually slash electron. Let me look at this again. Yeah, it's slash electron. Slash electron. Actually, I need to do a slash frac where electron is my first value and my second value is seconds. Maybe you can't nest them, is what's happening. So I have this SI unit here, and then in my units, I need a fraction where it's electrons per second. And then this is all one thing. I'm gonna have to look at it and see what happens. There's no errors, so we'll just have to see what it looks like compiled. Okay, then we have some considerations about these measurements. We have, whoa, okay, dot create, we have a new line. Low power is equal to 1 to 10 milliamps. And then we have high power. I don't know why I put curly braces there. That should be high power is equal to anything higher. That's kind of funny. Okay. Then we have doc create. We want a line break. We have two types of current. And on our next line, we want and we want a tab as well. We have direct current. And in direct current, we have some information about it as well. We know that in direct current, two tabs, the direction of charge flow is always the same. And by the way, direct current is what's used in most of our home appliances and electronics and stuff. But that's not necessarily how power is delivered to us. And on that same level, we get pulsating direct current has variable current magnitude. And create, also under two types, we have alternating current. Alternating current is what Tesla used and was shunned by the people for. And the direction of charge flow is variable, meaning positive can travel from left or right, whereas in direct current it can only travel, let's say, from the left, from the power place to your house, not backwards, not from your house to the power place in the same line. Okay, so there is our current section. I really wanted to get through like an entire day's worth of notes on this stream. I don't think that's happening. I am exhausted. It has been 2 hours. I am so sorry. 2.5 hours. But we have our documents started. We have our LaTex in full force. I will get a LaTex compiler between now and then so we can see what is going on. So I know that I want to create this section. I'm trying to think if I want to, well, the whole doc is going to be instrumental analysis, and I think the sections I want to be like the quote-unquote chapters in it. This first one that we're talking about is direct current. So I guess, honestly, this first part is this charge and current discussion is kind of like an intro. And then the next day talks about alternating current. And it has some intro stuff as well. Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. As you can see, we already have 36 minus a couple lines of code, but we have approximately 30 lines of code already. Yeah, right at 30 lines of code. These LaTeX documents are really lengthy, but they do include all of the special notation stuff. I want to get that compiler because I'm kind of curious about this electron not doing what it's supposed to. You should see it. It should be highlighting, and it's not. And that's a result of the Prettier library that I installed earlier. It kind of lets you know, gives you some indication whenever you're troubleshooting about what the code document thinks is happening. So it's really helpful. I'm going to go ahead. I have some, what's this? Oh, cool. I'm actually going to add this .text to our .ignore. It's important that it's here, but we don't necessarily need to commit any changes to it because we'll just upload it all at the end because it's going to update quite a bit. That's really cool. And then I'll upload my changes here. And I'll call it, add subsection charge and current to section, or I'll just put, add beginning sections of, or beginning subsection. Oh, I'll just show you. That's a lot easier. Get add instrumental analysis.py, get status, get commit message, add section direct current beginning subsections, and then I want to add, I might get ignore. I want to add some LaTeX stuff, and I'm just going to put .text here. And then you'll see here, get status, get add, dot get ignore, get status, get commit message, add dot text files to ignore, Get status. I want that to be untracked. And then I'm going to push all of this up at the end of my work section today. Get status. That's gonna annoy me. It's anything ending. I think I might need to add a yeah, see now it's ignored. Okay. Get status. Get add dot get ignore. Get status. Get commit. Ensure all .text files are ignored. Get status, get push. Okay, and that is where I'm gonna end the stream today. As always, if you have any questions or comments whenever you're watching this back later, I might pull out that section where I'm starting my LaTex environment into a separate video, so that people can see how to do it, because that's something that I said I would not do on stream ever, and here I am doing it on stream because it's necessary for me to move forward with what I have planned for the stream. So I appreciate your flexibility, and if today wasn't exactly what you expected, we'll find out, and hopefully next time we can actually see, you know, the changes that I'm making in this pie file. I'll see you next time.